wanted to. No, I would rather you sing and dance, and I don't know how to do that.
That would have been entertaining.
I wanted to get laugh. I want to laugh with someone. I have to laugh at.
Let's all stand up and say, welcome to Good Morning. Proud today. Welcome to my morning, welcome to my day. Yes, I'm the one responsible, I made it just this way. To make myself some pictures, see what they might bring. I think I made it perfectly, I wouldn't change a thing. La la la, la 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 la, la la la. Welcome to my happiness, you know it makes me smile. It pleases me to have you here for just a little while. While we open up these faces, try to break some chains. And if the truth is told, they will never come again. La la la, la la la, la la la. Welcome to my morning, welcome to my day. Yes, I'm the one responsible, I made it just this way. To make myself some pictures, try to bring my day. And if I did it perfectly, I wouldn't change a thing. La la la, la 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 la, la la la.
Good morning. Nice to see a full house. There is a slight change in plans. We will still be hearing Joanna speak, but due to low tides and fog, she was not able to take the ferry over, so we will be Skyping with her. So that's the good news. And I think that's all due to the fact that we have such a wonderful technology director that helps make Sundays happen. And along with Mark being able to make all things happen like this, we have Sally and Jamie doing our music. And our chaplain today is Marilyn. Hospitality hosts are Laura, and Mary Ellen, and Ann. And our speak and span angels are all of us that get to spread our talents of helping clean up and put it back together and keep it so nice and wonderful for next time. And I am your platform host, Nora. And if you want to really appreciate how much Mark does, thank him, because if we weren't able to Skype, they were threatening to have me sing and dance.
Thank you, Mark. I go for sing and dance. That's what I said.
No, I'd rather listen to Joanna.
Okay.
I couldn't sing and dance nearly as good as she can talk. And I do see somebody I don't recognize back there with Morris.
Oh,
Is that a friend of yours?
yes.
Well, welcome. And did you receive a red heart?
Yes.
Good. Then we will explain that in a little bit, of what that's all about. And so now we will have some more music.
In the still small voice, a dream in the still small voice. There will be an answer. It is the voice of God. Listen for the voice of God. In the still small voice, listen for an answer. It may be a whisper, sounding like a dream. In the still small voice, there will be an answer. It is the voice of God. Listen for the voice of God.
If you are new today in the city of Bremerton, we welcome you in the spirit of love. We want you to know no matter where you are on your journey of faith, you are always welcome here. We know that the world is a better place when we are willing to share our hearts. We give you this heart as a symbol of the steadfast spirit that lives within each of us, and we ask you to carry this symbol as a member of the Red Heart Fellowship. Let it be a reminder that the love of God is always with you and to share your heart wherever you go. The red heart, as a symbol of fellowship in the world, can spread love one heart at a time. Let's start the movement here. And for those of us that are visiting for the first time today or watching online for the first time, we ask you to watch again and again and again, because we do have a variety of speakers, and so it'll give you a chance to get some diversity. Now we're going to light the Christ candle and say our mission statement and our invocation. Okay, our mission statement?
We are a welcoming community supporting our mutual quest for spiritual truth. There is one presence and one power, active in the universe and in my life. God the good, omnipotence.
So now it's time for handshakes and hugs, and we'll keep it brief, knowing that there's going to be a good fellowship with good food after.
How are you today?
Yeah, this is your first time in this one, okay. Strangers? Your friend that you met here.
I love your clothes.
She ended up doing a Bremerton.
What's that?
But someone that's 30 years. Oh, yeah.
Right, I went back home and watched it. He said
So she's your hero. Yeah. She So how long did you live with her? But enough. Did you? I Hi. Yeah, but. Okay, we already done it. Oh, good. You did.
As long as we have love, we have a way. As long as we have peace, we have a way. As long as we have peace, we have a way. As long as we have peace, as long as we have peace, as long as we have peace, we have a way. As long as we have joy, we have a way. As long as we have joy, we have a way. As long as we have joy, as long as we have joy, as long as we have joy, we have a way. As long as we have love, we have a way. As long as we have love, we have a way. As long as we have love, as long as we have love, as long as we have love, we have a way.
Daily word, diversity. I appreciate the vastness and diversity in the world. As I walk through a garden blooming with spring flowers, I delight in the symphony of colors and fragrances. When I pause and look more closely, I see that no two blossoms are exactly alike. I appreciate both the exquisite beauty of the garden and the unique contributions that each blossom offers. In the beautiful diversity of colors, shapes, and fragrances, I experience the beauty of God. As I grow in spiritual awareness, I recognize that the human family, even more magnificent than a spring garden, reflects the beauty and the glory of God. Each racial, cultural, and spiritual group within the human family adds richness to the human experience. Each person, and a little doggy too, expresses the beauty of God in a unique way. From Genesis 1, verse 31, God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. God bless us.
Prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Thank you. I love that song. I can remember a time when I first learned it where it would bring me to tears. And I can still hear our beloved Kay singing that. And she's been gone
How many years?
89 years. A long time. So now for our unity happenings. So since Joanna's not going to be here to do our prosperity workshop. She will reschedule, so we're still going to prosper. Yes.
We'll let you know.
Yeah, to be continued. So next week, on the 9th, Richard Lemieux will be here to speak from his book on Breakfast at Sally's, and he has spoken at our church several times, and it'll be really nice to see him again and hear him. And it'll be a treat for those that haven't heard him. And then in 2 weeks, is our musical Sunday with Leo Brody, and we haven't heard from him in a while.
Hasn't been here, it'll be his first time here.
Yeah, it'll be his first time at this, since we've been here, so that'll be nice. I'm looking forward to that. And then we have our Course in Miracles on Thursdays. And if you have any questions about it, you can talk to Jamie or Sally and Jim, and they're both involved in that pretty well and have a lot to offer information on that if you have any questions. And Candace is here, yes.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel.
You know, today is the day where I've been thinking about lots of people that I haven't seen in a while, and they've all showed up today. So, if you want to see somebody or need somebody and need to show up in your life, just think about them a whole lot. And now we will connect with Joanna. Oh.
Got off the roll.
Yeah, and now some more special music.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger, an endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, its only seed. It's the heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never takes a chance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give, and the soul afraid of dying that never
I'm here.
We love
Thanks, Sally and Jamie. It's so good to be with you, and I did not intend to bring a literal experience of looking past appearances. I didn't intend that, but here we are. Apparently, Spirit did intend it. So here's what happened. I was up in Coopville at 6:30 this morning for the 7:15 ferry. And it was very, very foggy, and I could hear the foghorn getting closer and closer, but the boat just was not coming in. And so finally they announced that the pilot had made several attempts to come in and couldn't come in. So they turned the ferry around and went back to Port Townsend without us. And so the next ferry had been canceled already because of the tidal thing. You know how they cancel them every so often for the tides, low tides. So there was no way for me to get over there in time, and so I put in a big call to Cindy early this morning, and she and Mark just picked it up and rushed in and took care of it, and this is our alternative. So I'm very glad to be able to be with you anyway. I miss seeing your smiling faces and getting your loving hugs, that's for sure. But we'll do this, and I've got the Prosperity Workshop all ready to go. So I can do it next time or whenever you all decide you want to do it. So I will look forward to that. So yes, looking past appearances, I was driving back from Coopville, where here the sun was out. Oh boy. The sun was out, and the sun is out, and it's probably out in Coopville now too, who knows. But thinking about this is a good example of how we think things are going to go one way and they don't go that way at all. And then in that moment, we have the opportunity to decide who we are in relationship to it. Like, was I going to freak out? Was I going to be mad and upset? Or was I going to realize that on some level, at some higher level, this was obviously what needed to happen? Who knows? Maybe I avoided some bad moment on Highway 3. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to trust the process. And that's the thing for us these days, my dear friends. Looking in the world, you know, we always talk about how the world looks, and boy, today it looks more interesting than ever. And what's really important for us as conscious beings is discernment. Discernment. That's the word. Discernment. In consciousness, being able to look past appearances to what's really true. And dear ones, in this world, at this point, we need that ability more than ever. You and all of us are the ones holding the truth in the midst of us kind of bouncing around collectively in all kinds of directions. Wouldn't you say that's true?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so holding the space of the highest truth, that we are all one. And as that wonderful song that Sally and Jamie were singing earlier about, as long as there is love, there's a way. As long as there is peace, there is a way. That's the truth of it. And we are the way. But we have to remember that in order to not fall apart in the midst of it, or be freaked out in the midst of it, or to be upset or scared in the midst of it, is discernment. Myrtle Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, says, "Judge not according to appearance, but judge righteous judgment. This means shut out of your mind that which looks real and hold firmly to the thought of what is real." Do not judge by appearances, but judge with right judgment. That means always looking for the highest good in any moment, even when it's not showing up. Can anybody relate to that? Yeah. You got something going on in your life right now where it's not clear what the highest good is? What there may be opposing opinions, because in these days everybody's got an opinion and everybody has to weigh in. They got to put their opinion down, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or tweeting or something. Everybody's got an opinion about pretty much everything. And so the opportunity is bigger than ever to be listening for the inner truth, for the opinion, the inner truth, the comment coming in your heart that tells you what's really going on. Questions or comments about that?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Can you hear us?
I didn't hear that. What'd you say?
Can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you. It's really, really important to be able to listen into the truth of the moment, because it may not be showing up outside around us. It sure isn't out in the world. It sure isn't at Virginia Beach, right? Or the latest whatever it is. And it becomes more and more important every time someone pulls the trigger, every time someone raises their voice or raises their hand in violence, in attack, in negativity of some kind. It's more important than ever to be knowing the truth past it. Does that mean that it's okay? Does that mean that we need to ignore it? No, it doesn't. But what it does mean is to make our choices how to respond from that place of truth inside. We don't want to react in kind. That does not help the collective, does it? And so every time we get together, it seems that it becomes more and more essential for us to be aware and to be reminding one another of how important it is to be discerning in each moment of now. What's really going on here? What does this moment really ask of us? What does it ask of you? If you have a conflict with your significant other, with your mother, your father, your kids, the neighbors, co-workers, the person across the street, the person in front of you at line and Safeway, what is this moment asking of you? And remember the song. You can hear Sally in your head singing, as long as there's love, there's a way. And it just becomes more and more important, not less, but more and more important. Questions or comments?
Anybody? Honey?
Anybody?
Yep.
Hi, Joanne, this is Millie.
Aye.
Hi, this very morning, this is so perfect, all of what's gone on this morning at service and what you're speaking about. Because of where my car on Easter got totaled, and I've been so upset back and forth with the insurance company because they're giving me less than the value, half the value of it, so trying to find something. And it's been so frustrating. I felt physically what it's been doing to me, not only financially in all other ways. And it was just this morning that I finally went to releasing and looking from another perspective of what I call finding the pony in this. The story where the optimist and the pessimist, with the two little kids, you put one that's the pessimist in, and he's got a big pile of packages and everything, and he's unwrapping them and he's tossing them out, can't find something good. The other kid's got in the room, he's got a big pile of horse manure. And he's in there digging away, and they said, what are you doing? And he says, I'm trying to find the pony in this. There's got to be one somewhere. So I say, I look for the gift or the pony. So I call it was one chapter I'm writing about, is there's got to be a pony in this somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's what when I felt
yeah.
it physically release out of my body finally, what I've been doing with the anger and the frustration and the pain of what they're doing and what they're doing to people and what companies do to people when they are not. And so holding them at their highest, I've come to some resolve about how I'm going to approach this with them from that higher perspective of how to hold them. And so it's so perfect. It's that divine judgment, which is my card in my right card in Mother Peace wrote. It's that divine judgment beyond judgment. That discernment, that higher.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. And there are opportunities for that all day long.
We do have a couple of other comments. Hold on just a second.
This is Ron
All
Savage.
day long.
This is related in that there is another group of lunatics that are going through the same thing we are. Last week, Reverend Karen, he sanctified the church in Seattle, the Seattle Unity Church. It's going to be taken to the ground and rebuilt. They have moved to a new location down by the stadium, and they're sanctifying that as their sacred space this week. So it's not just us that has to change and find hope and make our own space. It's happening all over. Change is part of life. And they're finding their place just like we're finding ours. And I think that's related.
And we have one more, Anne.
Hi, good morning. Nice to see you. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about what we believe as a society, and I think we believe in one word, lack. And whether it be safety, lack of money, lack of whatever we don't see or palpate in the very moment. And it's a disease. I mean, it can take us over, and it can make things really, really more difficult than they are. I think it's important to follow the unity principles to the letter in order to get over this. That's what we can do. We can't do it for the society and the world, but we can do it ourselves. Know that we are safe. Know that we have what we need. We have food. We can still tithe. We can still do what we need to do in order to follow these principles. I don't know if anybody else saw this, but last week they had Archie Bunker and
Oh, yeah.
they had and it brought me back to 1969. I was living in Santa Monica, going to Unity by the Sea. Dr. Sue Sicking, who was a pretty well-written woman, is long gone. But Marla Gibbs happened to come to church there, who was what's her name, Jefferson's maid. She had an ethereal voice. You could always tell when she was, it's a tiny little church right down Santa Monica Boulevard. And it just always brought me such joy, no matter if it was the peace song at the end, but whatever it was, she was like a canary in the room, just leading us with her precious voice. And she's 88 now and going well, going real strong if anybody thought she was there. But we've got to get over this life thing. I can't do it because I don't have it. But that's not true. That's honoring something that isn't the truth. And it's making me kind of crazy because I really need to hear truth from everybody, and especially us, because we know better than lack.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And I hear you, and there's a couple of things in response to what everyone is sharing. First of all, I agree with you. I want to hear truth from everybody, and one of the ways that I can support that process is speaking truth myself. For as I come from my own truth, I invite that in the person I'm talking with. I invite people to go to that level, because if I share my truth, of who I am in this moment, and I'm sharing from that level of honesty and authenticity. The message I'm sending to the person I'm talking with is that it's safe to go there because I'm going there. And so it invites them to come from that same level. So we can have impact on the level of honesty, of truth in a conversation with people, in an experience with people, by how we're showing up. So thank you for that reminder. I really, that's important in this conversation. The other thing I also wanted to mention was thank you for bringing up what's happening at Seattle Unity. I had the opportunity last weekend to be at Seattle Unity for their final weekend in the old building. That we had a big celebration Saturday night, and then Sunday morning was the final service there in the old building. And on Saturday evening, it was beautiful. It was a wonderful experience. Lots of folks, and it was such a great thing. I started my spiritual journey at Seattle Unity, and so it was wonderful to be there and be a part of that. And one of the things that happened on Saturday evening was the minister from Unity of Portland was there, and she brought this sculpture. It was a metal sculpture of hands being held like this, holding, and inside was a heart with a magnet on it, so that it was inside the hands. And she presented it to Karen Lindvig, the minister at Seattle Unity, and she said, "We are with you. We are holding you in love and light and support as you go through this process of leaving this building, watching it being torn down and rebuilt to its new evolution. And we're with you," because they're expecting that to take 2 years. Wow. And so I thought it was such a beautiful expression of spiritual community, supporting each other, supporting one another in this moment. And so it's a good example of what we're doing, that what we can do with each other is to hold each other, because these moments can be challenging, right? Yeah. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. And so that have an image of that sculpture of those hands holding. I'm here for you. I'm here. We're here. We're moving through this. This is the time we came for. You have everything you need to participate, to be a part of this time. You're not missing anything. You bring everything that is necessary. So breathe, allow, know, say yes. Yes. So let's take some time right now to get comfortable. You get this, I know you do, I can feel it. And if it feels comfortable, close your eyes. And in your own mind's eye, maybe you could see an image of that sculpture, the metal sculpture of those hands holding. What does that look like to you? Have you got a picture of that? Yes. And know that the universe is bringing that to you, is bringing that image to you. You, my dear one, are held in universal love and universal light. You have everything you need in each moment of now. And this is how we deal with lack. Prosperity is not about money. Prosperity is a form of consciousness. Money is just one outpicturing of where we are with that consciousness. It's not good or bad or right or wrong. It's just a touchstone for where we are in knowing and accepting and believing that we are indeed being held, that we are indeed supported in every moment of now. And it's only fears and doubts that get in the way. And as we feel ourselves and image ourselves being held, the fears and doubts fall away. They dissipate. They cannot stand up to this light if we truly allow the connection. And if you get a yeah, but, just breathe it on through. Breathe it on through. And we'll take a moment now in silence to just be with this energy. Breathing and allowing. And as we're being held, you may know someone who could really use this reminder right now that they are indeed held, especially in the midst of whatever's going on, whether it's a health thing or a money thing or a relationship thing or whatever it is. And let's see them held right now in these hands. And if you'd like some support in holding them in these hands, feel free to say their names aloud now so we can hold them with you.
Jennifer, Kristen, Candy.
And so we collectively hold these hands of support, comfort, love and light. We hold all the people affected in Virginia Beach. We hold all the people affected by the wildfires in Canada. We hold all the people affected by being an American in these days and times. We hold all life on planet Earth. And because we're all one, as we hold all life is lifted up. And for this reminder, we are grateful. Divine love, divine light, divine essence, of which we are. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Have a good.
Okay, this is another love song. And by John Denver. Perhaps love is like a resting place, shelter from the storm. It
exists to give you comfort. It is there to keep you warm. And in those times of trouble, when you are most alone, the memories of love will bring you home. Perhaps love is like a window, perhaps an open door. It invites you to come closer, it wants to show you more. And even if you lose yourself, don't know what to do, the memories of love will see you through. Oh, love for some is like a cloud, for some as strong as steel, for some a way of living, for some a way to feel. And some say love is holding on, some say letting go, some say love is everything, some say they don't know. Perhaps love is like the ocean, full of conflict, full of pain, like a fire when it's cold outside, thunder when it rains. If I could live forever and all my dreams come true, my memories of love would be of you. Oh, love for some is like a cloud, for some as strong as steel, for some a way of living, for some a way to feel. And some say love is everything, and some say let it go, and some say love is everything, some say they don't know. Perhaps love is like the ocean, full of conflict, full of pain, like a fire when it's cold outside, thunder when it rains. If I could live forever and all my dreams come true, my memories of love would be of you.
So now it's time for our offering and candle lighting. And as you're preparing your tithes and love offerings today, think about how blessed you are. And as you're writing your check or giving your gift, send out your blessings.
I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all. So blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so
Together?
I give willingly, joyfully, and lovingly, knowing that God is my constant source, my supply. I give great graciousness and receive gratitude.
Now it's time for June birthdays.
June baby.
Anybody with a birthday in June? Ron, can you stand up? Yes. So let's sing happy birthday to them.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sally. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you, you're wonderful. God is blessing you now.
Now it's time for good news, and I'm going to start with Tracy because I am excited to hear all the things that she has to share.
Okay, so, and bear with me because I do have lunch. First of all, my husband, as some of you know, has been very ill. And the doctor has given him some new pain medication and it seems to be working. He's no longer in as much pain as he was, and it's a patch, so it delivers a constant source instead of the up and down that the other medication was taking. So he seems to be on an upswing and doing things around the house. And,
That's good.
And so he's in a good stretch right now. So thank you all for your prayers for him. I appreciate it. As you know, I had my hand in a cast for 6 weeks. I no longer have a cast on. Yay! And because of that, I have not been able to go to the Y to work out. And I went into my doctor's appointment dreading stepping on the scale. And I lost another 11 pounds. So I'm now down to 262 and I'm feeling really good. And I start back at the Y tomorrow. So I'm very excited to be back and during the
Yay!
So, thank you.
So, who you go first?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's the voice from above.
Okay, I have to tell the story because it's about next week's speaker, Richard Lemieux, and how I met him. Because I feel that the universe put us in the exact same spot and slammed us together for a reason. So I was at Fred Meyer's picking up a few things, and I was in the wine section, of course, looking for my favorite. And this gentleman approached me in this perfectly pressed shirt and a tie and introduced himself. And he said, I need some money. He was asking me for money. He said, my name is Richard Lemieux, and I have a car repair that I don't have enough to get to the end of the month. I would like to write you a check if you can get me some cash. And, I'm like, I don't know you know. And of course, he was asking for a certain amount, and I said, I don't think I can do that. I don't know who this is. So he pulled up on his phone, and he showed me the book that he wrote, and he talked a little bit about it. And I said, well, okay. There's just a good feeling about this guy. So I said, follow me to the checkout. And I was only going to give him a little bit, but I ended up
up taking the full amount that he wanted, and he wrote me a check and all this stuff, and so we ended up sitting down in one of the benches in the grocery store, and we talked for about 20 minutes. And I realized he had spoken with Unity before when you guys were on Perry, and it was almost like there was just this divine reason we were sitting there in the middle of the grocery store talking for so long. And it turned out to be just the most wonderful experience that I ever had, meeting this stranger asking me for money. And of course, over time, I never did cash his check because he was just a gift to me. And so I'm really, really glad that I was able to get his contact information to Cindy. I had called him and said, can she call you, you know? But I just feel that he is a blessing to our world, and I'm just really glad that I met him, and I'm glad that he gets to speak here next week. So I just wanted to share that story.
Oh, thank you.
Great. That was wonderful.
Well, I was at Trader Joe's the other day, and I was checking out, and they apparently have a couple of young people, I don't know what to call them, but special needs. And she was kind of standing there and at the counter, and she said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Sure." So I didn't need any help, but she was so sweet. She was so sweet. And so anyway, she said, well, so she took the groceries out, and I said, you know, "Are you able to take tips?" And she goes, "Tips? Yeah, yes, tips." She was so happy. I gave her $5. Now, I never do that, but I just felt so good about it. And then she said, "I'm here on Monday and Friday." Maybe you're not going to work it yourself these days, okay? Good for her. Yeah, she knows what she's doing.
Well, I want to welcome we had 2 newcomers today, so thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed being here. That's very exciting. For those of you that were here last week, we enjoyed online Reverend Michael Gott, Unity of Houston, Back to Basics Part 2. And he shared the abbreviated version of the 5 basic principles, which I put in today's bulletin.
Yay.
So for those that were here last week, let's show everybody how this goes. Ready? God is.
God is.
I am.
I am.
I can.
I can.
I'm equipped.
I'm equipped.
I live it.
I live it.
Thank you.
And just so everyone knows, on the way here, Tracy and I were talking about Kimberly, and there she is, you know, and it's like that manifesting. And I was thinking about Candace this week, you know, I hadn't seen her in a while, and she comes. So, I mean, what was it that Rosella used to always say? Thoughts held in mind. So, we know what to do when we need something that sort of goes with everything Joanna spoke about today. So now it's time for our peace song.
There be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God